we keep learning more about social gaming giant Zynga, and not all of it is in its IPO paperwork. Earlier this month, we learned that CEO Mark Pincus asked some employees to forfeit their shares ahead of the IPO. Now, a scathing report about Zynga's corporate culture from the New York Times. The story cites former employees describing, quote, emotionally charged encounters, including loud outbursts from Mr. Pincus, threats from senior leaders, and moments when colleagues broke down into tears. So what is it really like inside Zynga? John Erlichman spoke exclusively with one former employee today. John, everybody is talking about this story. What did you learn today?
Well, Emily, we learned Roger Dickey is someone who spent 3.5 years at the company and was one of the first 30 employees. He's also the person who created one of the hit games for Zynga, Mafia Wars. His working relationship with Mark Pincus was a positive one, but he also acknowledged in our interview he is a tough guy to work for.
I think most billionaires you meet are going to have tough, hard-driven personalities. Mark didn't get where he is by being a softie, right? I mean, if you don't perform well and you're not, you're not working hard, not 100 hours a week, but 60, 70, whatever, just pushing a little harder than your 40-hour work week, then you won't get along well with Mark.
And Dickey also addressed that controversy you spoke of, the idea that some employees were told, give us back your stock or you could lose your job. He had no firsthand experience of that, but he did have some views on it. Have a listen to what he had to say.
I believe it would be unethical if you gave someone a fair amount of stock and you came to them later and said, look, now we'd like to take some of this back, right? I think what happened was, I know this happened in certain cases, where compensation was very misaligned even early on for certain employees. And Zynga went through their books and basically said, look, maybe we have, just to use a random example, we have a software engineer who has $100 million in equity, where we could hire somebody off the street and give them $100,000 in equity, right? So as a business, does this make sense for us?
Emily?
Interesting, John. So this employee got along with Mark Pincus, but others,
yes,
many others say they have not. Why did Roger Dickey leave Zynga?
Well, he says he's an entrepreneur. He sold his first company to Zynga. That's why he became an employee, and now he's working on his next venture. But some people we spoke to said that the issue is not, that friction issue is not with the first employees, but as it grew and as they brought in employees from other companies like Electronic Arts who weren't used to the environment where it's more data-driven than design-driven. And, of course, you heard him talking about the hours, the need to work hard at Zynga. Emily?